Hello, David. How are you today?
Very well, thank you.
All right.
Chilly.
For anybody who doesn't know what's going on here, this is the Hospitality Assured Service Excellence video interview. And today we are delighted to be joined by David, is it McKown? Is that McKown? Is that how you pronounce your surname?
McKown.
McKown, thank you very much. Sorry, Mr. McKown, Head of Training and Quality at the University of Sheffield. David has worked at the University of Sheffield, a top 100 university, renowned for the excellence, impact and distinctiveness of their learning and teaching for over 30 years. Wow, that's impressive. Almost 25 years ago, David created the internationally renowned Skills for Chefs conference, which takes place every year in the university. And in 2019, David was awarded an MBE for his services to hospitality training and education. Congratulations, David. How was that? How was that experience?
Yeah, it was surreal. And it was a great trip to the palace with the family.
No, I could imagine there must have been a lot of very proud moments there on that day.
Yes, indeed.
Wonderful. So we're going to get straight on with question number one. So we're curious to know, what made you decide to work in hospitality education?
Gosh, that's a great question. I left catering college. I went to Tameside College, further education. I left there in 1982, and I started to work in kitchens. I was a chef. I then progressed into becoming a food and beverage manager, and I went on a short course which was called the Craft Trainer Award. It was run by the Hotel and Catering Industry Training Board, which was in existence at the time. And I did the Trainer Skills 1 course, now known as the Craft Trainer Award, and that inspired me to become an educator. I then went and did a further education teacher's certificate, did a little bit of delivery on BTEC courses, and then a position was advertised at the University of Sheffield as a training manager, and that suited my skill set. So really, it was I was inspired really by the benefits you can get from delivering training sessions to employees. So it was for it was not just young people. It was mature people who want to develop and build on their workplace performance.
Yeah, and that must possibly a new skill to give them a new career. I mean, at any age, I think it's important to still be learning, and especially if it's something that you've got a little bit of passion for, but you don't quite get to know how to start.
Yes. Yeah.
That's amazing. And what do you enjoy most about your role at the university?
I enjoy.
There's probably loads of things, but
variety, of course. There's always new challenges. As you probably know, we've got a student community here of around 30,000 students and 7,000 staff. We're feeding staff. We're offering hospitality services. We're delivering a whole range of catering and accommodation services, because we've got over 6,000 students living with us in university accommodation. So the variety and the challenge, really, because there's always new challenges, mainly due to new legislation, and very appropriate legislation it is. So, for example, over recent months, Natasha's Law, for example.
Yeah, that came in October, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. That's something we've got to get to grips with in terms of all our retail catering. So yeah, there's a whole range of different types of work we need to do. But at the forefront of our mind, there's got to be the food safety, the health and safety of our students and staff. But then we get to do lots of other things like the Hospitality Assured standard as well.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? The little bonuses as well, especially when you've always got new legislations coming into play and things like that. I guess you really feel like you need to be on top of things like that.
Yes, indeed.
So was it Max or Trisha that came to see you?
Both of them.
Oh, lovely. Weren't you lucky?
So they were in this pretty much for 3.5 days.
Oh, wonderful. That's an experience.
Indeed.
And
Indeed.
is it is the University of Sheffield is it quite an old building? Is how's your kitchen situation there?
A complete mix. The majority of the rebuild was finished in 2014, I would say. Now there's a lot of refurbishment. There's new buildings which have opened over the last 2 years. Heart Space, we've got a fantastic retail cafe in that engineering building, which is a refurbishment, but it's got a new atrium with a glass roof. There's a new sciences building opening, and that'll have a retail cafe in it as well. So there's lots of new buildings opening all the time. So yeah, the mix of all
changing and evolving.
Yeah. I would describe our catering areas and kitchens as new, modern, and up to date.
Wonderful. So what's been your main highlight of your career so far? So far, we say. You know, there's always wonderful opportunities coming, I can imagine, especially for yourself. Yeah, what's been your highlight, if you've got one? I mean, I'm sure you've got a few, but
gosh, there's many. And I suppose thinking about recent times, I think working on the hospitality assured standard has got to stand out. Prior to that, we had done investors in people and the customer first standard. We've won a national training award. We host major conferences, like you mentioned in the intro, the Skills for Chefs conference. A more recent personal highlight is the established UK Young Restaurant Team of the Year competition.
Wonderful.
Which is celebrating its 10th competition next year. We lost 2 competitions due to COVID. We decided not to run them. And another standout highlight is the work which I'm doing across the UK university sector through a company which I'm a director of called University Hospitality Seminars. It's tricky to just pick out one career highlight, but there's plenty to pick from.
Yeah. That's it, exactly. And if we had more time and a glass of wine, you could probably tell me loads, couldn't you?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
So what was the original motivation for choosing to work with Hospitality Assured, please?
Well, there's a 9-step process. There's lots of established criteria there, which I felt was new, modern, and relevant to our business. It ensured that we were going to be assessed against not only service delivery, but also some of the other more hidden areas like finance, information technology, sustainability. It was comprehensive. I mean, it is based on the European Foundation Quality Management. I might have got the acronym wrong there. It's robust. It was a challenge. And having researched the marketplace of national standards, it felt the best fit for our hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. That's why it was. I think coming out of COVID, it was also a great opportunity to reset, refocus, and also
that makes sense, doesn't it?
Also give our staff something to strive for. Setting these new challenges coming out of COVID was important. So we actually just recently celebrated our success at 6 staff conferences, where we took some photos of the certificate with staff. We thanked our staff for their support in the process, because a large number of them were interviewed by Max and Trish. So and you know, we hit the standard, and we know we can strive for Hospitality Assured Premier now. So that's we know that it's a model which will allow us to get better. It's not something we can just stand still with. and the feedback was very comprehensive. We're working our way through the feedback now, and we've created an action plan. So yeah, business excellence is the driver, and I know there's a lot more we can get out of it going forward.
I guess, like you said as well, photographing the staff and the team, it is everybody's joint effort, isn't it? It's not just something that is done by one person, and that's the great thing. It's literally that cultural transformation across the board in every aspect, and especially as you've got so many areas.
Yeah, housekeeping, front of house, kitchen, bars, retail, finance, IT. You know,
Brilliant.
it involves everyone, HR as well.
And no wonder they were there for 3.5 days.
Yeah. The whole business is engaged with the standard, which is something that our directorate like about hospitality assured.
That's good. And what did when you did achieve the accreditation, how elated were you in the team?
I think because it was an interesting, challenging, tough standard. We were completely thrilled by the whole situation that we'd achieved the standard. I do think organisations should have a good look at this standard to see how it can build and what the benefits will be. But obviously we were delighted, but at the same time we know there is stretch and we can get better. But yeah, it's good to have that external assessment on your business, and it's great to get recognition as well.
And then, so how would you say the HA accreditation has changed the way that you work as a whole, as a team at the university?
Well, it's definitely brought teams closer together. We are, having meetings as we speak about the actions that we need to take to become Hospitality Assured Premier. So it's bringing us closer together. It's giving us an opportunity to discuss topics that we might not have previously discussed. It recognises that everyone is important within the business. So I think that the main change is that it's always great to work on a project that involves everyone. Yeah, like I can imagine that actually, like you said, it brings people together, doesn't it? And you learn about each other, and not just that morning hello, you can see, you can go through life every day seeing that one person singularly every day say hello, but this must be a wonderful opportunity to actually really bring the team together like a family, like a well-oiled working machine that works with each other.
Yeah,
cultural transformation, people like to say.
We like it, don't we? We like those words.
But you're quite right. It's not just a social hello. It's that, how's that new piece of software going now? It creates business. It creates business chat. I see that you've put complaints on your agenda at your monthly meetings. What's being flagged up. I see that you're going to do more work on local suppliers, and a celebration wall at the university of our local suppliers.
That's fab.
So how's that going? What plans have we got? Have we identified the wall yet that can be painted? So I'm sure it creates more business conversation rather than just social interaction.
Yeah, and positive as well. Business conversation, and
across teams as well.
We like that. And what would you say to any other businesses that might be considering embarking on Hospitality Assured accreditation?
I would say you can keep delaying things. You do have to build a portfolio of evidence and submit that prior to the assessment taking place. And you do a self-assessment scoring across the 9 steps, and you keep doing it, and you think to yourself, are we ready? I think at some point you've got to decide that you're going to take the advice of Max or Trish and say, look, this is where we're at. Let's make a submission. So it took in our case a number of months of planning. We wanted to take the team with us, so that takes a number of months to brief the team. I do think probably it took the best part of 6 months to get to a stage where we were ready to be assessed. But my advice would be to take advice and decide whether you can make that step forward, really. So yeah, that's my advice, really.
We've got time, actually. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the UDine Awards?
Oh, the UDine Awards.
Do you want to have a little? Do you want to give them a little plug while we're here?
Yeah. So this is a new project which I'm involved with. There's an organisation called Inside Food Service, who University Hospitality Seminars are working with, and we've brought a phoenix from the ashes here, because the UDine Awards did exist back in 2014 and it had gone to sleep, but a chance meeting over COVID, we decided that it was about time that we brought the UDine Awards back, and this piece of collaboration has resulted in the awards taking place this year. They're open to all UK universities, whether they are in-house operators or outsourced. It's not just a prize-giving ceremony. We have a seminar, first of all, which this next year will start with lunch, and then there'll be an afternoon seminar, and then the awards in the evening. We're actually launching them in January with a in-person seminar as well, like a winter launch, as you could say. And there will be approximately 9 categories which universities can consider, from best cafe concept through to on-trend dining, through to best university hotel. You'll be surprised how many universities actually operate a hotel now. Best university bar, of course, must feature. and best sustainability initiative. And the other great thing, which I wanted to just mention, is that the Institute of Hospitality have endorsed this project, and Robert Richardson, your Chief Operating Officer, he came along to the UDine event at the University of Birmingham, and he's agreed to support us next year. And straight after this meeting, I'm going to write to him just to make sure that he has got the 19th June, the 19th firmly in his diary.
We'll give him a poke. We'll give him a poke. Make sure he's got it in his diary. Tell him you've been having a chat with us.
Yeah, the 19th of June will be our event, and it's going to be held at the University of Nottingham next year. And our shortlist and additional guests will be staying at the Orchard Hotel, which is really smart if you want to check it out. The Orchard Hotel at the University of Nottingham. So yeah, that's an exciting project. And again, it raises the profile of university hospitality. We deserve to get more spotlight, I think, and the UDine Awards will help with that spotlight, because hospitality professionals can have a great career within university hospitality, and it's possibly not on the radar of everyone.
Agreed. So finally, last question, and here's a little bit of fun just before Christmas. What is the best catering tip that you can share with anybody who's either working in the kitchen at home or in the kitchen at professionally?
The best catering tip?
Yeah, so if you're putting on a big meal, what would you say?
Yeah. I've got so many, really. be careful if you brine a turkey. Make sure make sure that you've weighed out all the ingredients for your brine carefully, because there is a significant risk of osmosis, and you could make your turkey very salty. So yeah, so I to actually source the best turkey from a local butcher, and I personally have decided after a number of years not to brine my turkey.
No brining of the turkey then this year for you. You've learned from mistakes, have you?
I mean, there will be some chefs out there saying you're talking rubbish. Brining is an improvement on your turkey. In my experience so far, it's made the turkey meat very salty. But someone's going to say you've not weighed out your salt properly, David, or you've not bought the right salt or something.
Somebody will say something somewhere. You know what? We know what chefs are like.
Yeah, and then the obvious one, I think, is the perfect roast potato, where you've got to boil your potatoes first in water and let them cool in the colander, and then give them a little scrape with your finger and rough them up a little bit.
Rough them up a bit.
Fluff them up a bit, because that gets, and also turn your roast potatoes during the cooking duck fat is great in the oven, but keep turning them so you get an all even.
So they get all over
golden crispy.
Wonderful.
A lot of people know that. So that's my top tip. Yeah.
And there's a new show there for me, and there's a new show there for me and you. That's it. Seasonal tips from David.
Seasonal. Yeah.
Thank you so much on behalf of Max, Trisha, and Karen, myself, for all the lovely things you've said today about Hospitality Assured. And we are delighted to have you as accredited with us, and good luck on that strive for Premier. I'm certain that you'll get it. I can see that you're all doing plenty of hard work there.
Thank you.
And I hope it wasn't too painful.
No, it's been a pleasure.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, David, and have a wonderful Christmas. And thank you very much for everybody who watches these. I hope you enjoy them, and we'll see you next time. Thank you very much.
Cheerio then.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.